In this course, we will be learning about Angular through building a real application. This application is called Angular EventReg, and we're not talking about some simple Hello World application. This application will have a reasonable amount of features. When we are done, we should have written around 500 lines of JavaScript and 200 lines of HTML, plus tests. Now realize that this is a showcase application and not necessarily a reference application on best practices, especially for things that are external to what Angular itself actually handles, such as CSS, deployment, data access, performance, and other concerns like that. We will be showing quite a few best practices with Angular itself, but as Angular is relatively new, many best practices are yet to be discovered, and Angular is evolving all the time. New versions are regularly released, and with each new version, new best practices are waiting to be found. One of our goals here is not to just teach you how to use Angular, but how to use Angular in a real-world application. This should give you the confidence you need to go and start your own Angular application from scratch. Now let's look at the major features of EventReg. EventReg is an application for creating and viewing Angular events or conferences, and for viewing and voting for the sessions available at these events. So the first major feature of EventReg is the ability to show a list of Angular events. From that list, the user can click on an event to see that event's details, including a list of sessions and the details on each session. Also, users should be able to create new sessions and events. There will be some validation here so that the necessary information is available on each event. Users who created an event or a session should be able to edit that event or session. Next, any operations that require knowing who the user is should require the user to log in. As such, users should be able to freely register a new user account and should be able to edit their account. Since we want to have a realistic application, we will be sending data to and from our server, so we will be using the Node server that comes with Angular Seed. But in order to suit our needs, we will modify it a little bit just to let us store and retrieve data by storing it on the disk in simple JSON format text files, so that we don't have to mess with setting up a more robust data storage mechanism. But our data will still be sent back and forth to the server using AJAX requests like any production application would. For this application, we will be using Twitter Bootstrap to make the styling easier. In addition, we will be using an open source theme for Bootstrap so that we have a slightly more interesting look and feel. Here's a screenshot of the finished application with that Bootstrap theme. So that, in a nutshell, is the application that we are going to be building in this course.